So we are getting these inside details of what really is going to be India's response, and this is what we are looking at, the inside details of India-US trade deal. An announcement has been made by the US President Donald Trump where he mentions about tariff and non-tariff barriers being reduced to a 0%. What does that really mean? He also says that India is going to stop buying Russian oil completely. But is that really the case is the big question, because from what we are learning, India is not ready to in fact go ahead and jeopardize its domestic interests. Also, the relationship with Russia comes into picture here. Whether or not a complete stop as far as the import of Russian crudes is going to be done is solely going to be decided by the domestic requirements here. Also, agriculture becomes a key aspect, because remember, the farmers' interests are paramount, and this is what the Indian government has always held, and that is what has been the position so far. So what has been mentioned by the US President Donald Trump, if we juxtapose it from what we are learning through our sources, of course, it's a different story that the Indian side has to tell. For more details, we have Aman Sharma now joining us on the broadcast. Aman, let's begin with the farmers' interests first. Agriculture, that is one aspect that has been clearly mentioned in the US President's Truth Social post. Is that going to be coming in the way into what India has so far said about the strategic interests, about keeping farmers' interests paramount?
Well, Griha, see, Mr. Trump has said what he had to say in his Truth Social post, but what top government sources are telling us three very clear points. Number one, the consistent position of the Indian government that the farmers' interests will be protected, be it the the fishery sector, the dairy sector, or be it the agriculture sector. There will be no compromise with the interests of our farmers. It has been a red line so far in the negotiations with the US as well. So what top government sources are telling us, the government remains steadfast on this particular topic even now, that the interests of the farmers will be protected. Number 2 point, Indian government sources, top government sources are very clearly saying that all decisions regarding oil purchases from abroad are dictated by the market prices, because we want to put the people first. You know, since 2022-23, we have started buying Russian oil in a big way because it was deeply discounted. That is why we bought, but now that discount factor is also gone, and especially 2 Russian firms have been sanctioned by the US, so it is not possible for India to anyway buy those oil from those sanctioned firms. India will continue to buy oil from the non-sanctioned firms, but the decision is not being forced by the US on India. The decision is being forced by India's approach of keeping people first and our national interests at first. That is what is coming. Wherever we get the best deal on oil, we will buy it from there. That is what very clearly the top government sources are saying. And the third point, that this $500 billion amount that Mr. Trump has put in his tweet, that India will commit to do that much business with the US. Indian government sources are very, very clear that this is a graded and an incremental amount, maybe spread over 5 to 6 to 7 years. This is not an annual amount, and that is why these opposition which is questioning that it's a sellout. How will you buy 500 billion worth of American goods? Government sources are clearly telling us that this is an incremental graded amount spread over 5 to 6 years.